Welcome to the Schalke debrief. We lose the game against Kaiserslautern 1-0, and we've kind of been brought down back to earth, right? We had this high after the last game. Everyone's saying we're going to win. No one's talking about us being promoted this year. Well, not as many. Interesting game to say the least. Obviously, Nikola Katic wasn't playing because he was injured. Thus stepped in the new man, Kurasai, in defense. That was really the only change in the first half in the game, I should say. Karaman coming off the bench as his bullet, but interesting game. Started out very first 10 minutes. I thought we looked like the better team. Weren't really pressing. Didn't look like the same team we saw last week against Hertha Berlin. Didn't have the same conviction early on, but we're doing quite well. Kaiserslautern had a good opportunity in the first minute of the game that forced Lloris Karius to make a save, and that was really all he had to do in the first half. Honestly, there was a couple times Kaiserslautern came in, they carved through our defense, but for the most part, our defense was pretty stable. So, good start to the game, and then all of a sudden, after that first real good chance where they carved us up when Vitaly Becker kind of fell down, between the 10th and the 20th minute, Kaiserslautern really started to control possession, control opportunities, still not getting that final ball through, but it would seem like the game had completely changed from us winning, dominating, to them starting to dominate. Got me a little worried there, but then we got ourselves back on track, and I think really the man who kind of was the catalyst of that in the first half, Antwi Ajay, looked really good again. We talked about last week how he kind of stepped up and was really performing unexpectedly, really. Not his throw-ins, his set pieces, good free kick opportunity in the first half. He made the goalkeeper make a save. Had some good passes, through balls. He had a particular through ball to Gantenbaum. Good play on a transition from a turnover. Gantenbaum had it cross into the middle that Remmer nearly put away. Had a nice pass through ball to Musa Silla, who got a shot off. It was saved by the goalkeeper, but for the most part, I thought first half, especially around the 30th minute or so, we finally started looking like the team we played against Hertha Berlin, where we started pressing the ball a little bit more, causing some turnovers there by Kaiserslautern. Very effective, I thought. But all for naught, really, first half. Their keeper, Krall, had to make some big saves, and he did. He was the busier of the two goalkeepers. Like I said, Karius really had nothing to do after the first minute of the game. The big thing for me, obviously, the pressing does work. It just needs to happen more frequently. To hurt the match, it was shock and awe. It seemed like a constant pressure that made Hertha unease. In this game, we didn't start out with that pressure, but we got into the game. And like I mentioned, Antwi Ajay was a big part of that. El Fauzi looked really good in terms of hustling. I don't know how he can get a yellow in the first half. He didn't get a yellow in the game against Hertha Berlin. He was very aggressive again. And people seem to be leaning against him, so it's just fine with me. So he was very impressive, I thought. But for the most part, pretty quiet. You know, Remert, the Schalke Buffalo, didn't get many opportunities. Musasila didn't either early on. So going to the half, 0-0. Looking the better of the two teams, but still no really true threats to Krall in goal. And for what it's worth, Myra Muslic, his team defensively looked pretty stout, looked stabilized, looked disciplined, and weren't given anything other than that first opportunity. Yeah, they got carved up here and there, but once they got into the box, they kind of closed up shop, and there's really nothing from there. So, really impressive first half, defensively, I should say, at least for the team. 0-0, not too many complaints other than I wish we had more shots on goal, but we were the better of the two teams, so at least there's that. That was the first half. Second half, I started having traumatic flashbacks from last year when ESPN Plus just couldn't figure out how to make this work. We come out of the second half, and it's technical difficulties for what, 10, 15 minutes. And then once it finally comes out of technical difficulties, what's the first thing we see? Ron Schallenberg fouling Hanslick in the box. And it's like, really? This is how we come back? To a penalty against Schalke. Go to the replay. It's a legit penalty. Schallenberg got a little too much of Hanslick. Ritter steps up, former Schalke man, scores a goal. 1-0. Really, that's going to be all she wrote for the next remainder of the game, really. First half was mostly Schalke. Second half, all Kaiserslautern. Even after they took the lead, they did what we couldn't do last week, where kept the foot on the gas. Kaiserslautern kept it on us. We made some changes. We brought in Karaman, Bullet, Bachmann. This kind of helped us for a couple minutes, probably 5 minutes or so. We started swinging the momentum back in our favor, getting some opportunities. But for the most part, Kaiserslautern was the better team. We had no answers whatsoever against them. It just seemed like the pressing that we saw previously was not there. The ambition, the aggressiveness, it just wasn't there. The only thing we did see is fired up Myra Muslic, him and Lieberknecht going at it at halftime, going into the tunnel. And then after the goal happened, there was a red card that happened in like the 85th minute. Robinson comes onto the pitch immediately for Ritter. Gets a red card, straight red card for high cleats. Goes to VAR. Called it back, said it was a yellow card. Correct call. And then Lieberknecht and Muslic join at each other. Yeah, it was must-watch TV for those two. Those two watch to see what they do. I want to see the press conference after to see how they handle that. But they didn't seem to like each other. But overall, Schalke just didn't do enough. They were unimpressive. This wasn't the same team we saw last week. Sure, Kaiserslautern more up for it than Hertha Berlin were, but yeah, unimpressed by what I saw today. Overall, not even going to give you my 4 takeaways. Only player I thought did really well was Christian Atuaje. I thought he was pretty good the times that he was in there. El Fauzi did okay as well, but for the most part, nobody really did anything, honestly. So disappointed by this result. It came back to life. However, it's not down and out yet. I mean, obviously this has a lot of flashbacks to last year, right? We won against Braunschweig, and then we lost the very next game. We lost 4 of the next 5 games, honestly. In that game against Nuremberg, Schallenberg got a red card. In this game, he gives up a penalty. A lot of similarities, but hopefully that's where the similarities end. We can get back on the right track, but still upbeat on Muslic, but this is not the performance we hope to see the rest of the season. So, but again, this loss is a better loss than we've seen all last year. So we'll see. We'll get more in depth into this game on the podcast with Jack. Really break down this match fully, and then look ahead to a Pokal match against Lokomotiv Leipzig. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, for this game, this debrief, it's over. 1-0 loss to Kaiserslautern. Not impressive at all, but that's what it is, right? All right, well, we'll catch you guys on the podcast. Glück auf.